Class 11th, subject physics, 5th chapter, gravitation. From this chapter, let us see variation in G with latitude and the rotation of the earth. So in this point, we will have to discuss the variation of acceleration due to gravity with latitude as well as with the rotation of the earth. Now, latitude is the angle made by the radius vector. Latitude is nothing but it is the angle made by the radius vector at any point from the center of the earth with the equatorial plane, with this equatorial plane. So latitude is the angle made by the radius vector at any point from the center of the earth with the equatorial plane. So in this diagram, radius vector is OP. Now the equatorial plane will lie in the horizontal direction, that is along this equator, and therefore the angle made by that radius vector with this equatorial plane is equal to theta, which will represent latitude. So along the equator, latitude will be equal to 0 degree as we go towards the poles. So this line will represent axis of the earth, that is polar axis of the earth, and therefore if we proceed from equator to axis, this latitude will go on increasing and at the poles it will be equal to 90 degree. So along the equator, the latitude is equal to 0 degree. At the poles, latitude is equal to 90 degree. Now, latitude ranges from 0 degree at the equator and the 90 degree at the poles. So this will be the range of this latitude from 0 to 90 degree. Now, the earth rotates about its polar axis. Earth rotates about its polar axis with constant or uniform angular velocity omega. So with this constant angular velocity omega, earth is rotating about its polar axis from west to east. Hence, every point on this surface of the earth, every point on the surface of the earth except the poles of the earth will be moving with constant angular velocity omega, and therefore we can say that every point on the surface of the earth moves in a circle which will be parallel to the equator. So like this, if you consider any body which is present at this point P, as earth is rotating with constant angular velocity omega, therefore that body will move along a circular path which will be parallel to this equator. So in this diagram, in the upper half portion as well as in the lower half portion, we will get the same situation, that is every body will revolve in a circle and that circle will be parallel to the equator. Now when the body is at this point P, it will move along the circle of radius equal to small r. Suppose when that body is at this point P, at that time as earth is rotating, therefore this body will revolve in a circle of radius small r and with center O dash. Now let theta be the latitude at this point P. Theta is the latitude at this point P, and hence we can say that angle EOP equal to theta, and therefore from this figure, as this is the radius vector, therefore the radius of this smaller circle and this equator will be parallel to each other. Their intersection will be OP, and therefore as this angle EOP is equal to theta, therefore angle OPO dash will be also equal to theta, since alternate angles, and therefore we can say that angle EOP equal to theta, therefore angle OPO dash is also equal to theta because it is alternate angles. Now from triangle OPO dash, from this triangle OPO dash, from this triangle we can write cos theta equal to, as this angle is theta, cos will be equal to adjacent side upon hypotenuse, that is O dash P upon OP, and therefore we can write cos theta is equal to PO dash upon PO, that will be equal to small r upon capital R, and therefore R will be equal to R cos theta. R is equal to R cos theta. So this will give rise to the radius of that small circle. Now the centripetal acceleration of that body of mass M, which is at point P on the Earth's surface, that centripetal acceleration will be given as AR is equal to R omega square, that is equal to R omega square cos theta. So it will be acceleration R omega square, but small r is equal to R cos theta. So R cos theta into omega square, that is R omega square cos theta. This will be the centripetal or radial acceleration of that body. Now the component of this acceleration along the line OP, that is radius of the Earth, is. Now we will have to consider the component of this radial acceleration. Now the radial acceleration AR, that is equal to R omega square cos theta, will be acting along this radius R towards the point O dash. So this will be the direction of AR, that is radial or centripetal acceleration of this body when it is at point P. Therefore along PO dash, that radial acceleration will be directed, that is along this radius small r. Now its component along this line OP, let it be equal to A. A represents this component of this radial or centripetal acceleration, as acceleration due to gravity is directed towards the center of the Earth. Therefore acceleration of the body, that is component of radial acceleration of this body, is directed along OP, that is away from the center of this circle, and therefore the component of this radial acceleration or centripetal acceleration along the line OP, that is along the radius of the Earth, will be given as A is equal to AR cos theta. A equal to AR cos theta. A will be equal to AR cos theta, because if you consider from this figure, if this component is A, this component is AR, perpendicular is drawn from this AR on this A. At that time this will represent adjacent side, this will be the hypotenuse, and therefore cos theta will be equal to A upon AR. Cos theta will be equal to A upon AR, and therefore A is equal to AR cos theta. So A is equal to AR cos theta, that is equal to R omega square cos theta into cos theta. This will be the value of AR, that is R omega square cos theta into cos theta, that will be equal to R omega square cos square theta. R omega square cos square theta. This will be the component of this radial acceleration of that body, which is along the radius of the Earth, that is along line OP. Now in this case, acceleration due to gravity G is directed towards the center of the Earth. Acceleration of that body, that is component of that acceleration of the body is directed away from the center of the earth, and therefore if you consider the effective force of gravitational acceleration, effective force of acceleration due to gravity, effective force of gravitational acceleration, then due to this g it will be mg, which will be directed towards the center of the earth. Mg will be the force due to this acceleration due to gravity, where m will be the mass of that body. At the same time, as this acceleration of the body is a, therefore whose value is equal to r omega square cos square theta, whose value is equal to r omega square cos square theta, due to that force will be equal to m r omega square cos square theta, m r omega square cos square theta, that is ma, which will be directed away from the center of the circle, and therefore these two forces due to g and a, that is mg and ma, will be oppositely directed, and therefore the resultant force or the effective force of gravitational acceleration will be subtraction of these two forces due to these two accelerations, that is mg minus ma, and therefore we can write effective force mg dash, where g dash will represent the effective acceleration of this g and a, and therefore mg dash will be equal to mg minus mr omega square cos square theta, mg dash equal to mg minus mr omega square cos square theta. Cancelling m from all these three terms, we will get g dash equal to g minus r omega square cos square theta, g dash equal to g minus r omega square cos square theta, and this is the effective acceleration acting on that body. So g dash will be equal to g minus r omega square cos square theta, and this equation will represent the variation in the value of g with latitude, where theta will represent latitude, that is g dash is equal to g minus r omega square cos square theta. Now let us see two different special cases in this point. So first case will be at equator. Now we know that at equator latitude theta is equal to 0, and therefore cos theta, that is cos 0, will be equal to 1, and therefore if we put the value of cos theta equal to 1 in this relation, then g dash will be equal to g minus r omega square. So g dash will be equal to g minus r omega square. So from this relation it is clear that as g dash is equal to g minus r omega square, therefore by this factor r omega square, the acceleration due to gravity will get decreased. That is, at the equator we will get less value of acceleration due to gravity, and therefore in order to calculate that factor r omega square, if we put the value of r as 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter, 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter, and omega equal to 2 pi by t. So for earth t will be equal to 24 into 60 into 60 second. So omega will be equal to 2 pi upon 24 into 60 into 60, because earth completes one rotation in 24 hours, that is in one day. Therefore t will be equal to 24 hours. It will be converted into second by multiplying it by 60 into 60, and therefore 2 pi upon 24 into 60 into 60 will be the period, and therefore if we put this value, then omega will be equal to 7.275 into 10 raised to minus 5 per second. So omega comes out to be, and therefore the reduction in the acceleration due to gravity, as here it is g dash is equal to g minus r omega square. Therefore, reduction in the acceleration due to gravity will be g minus g dash. G minus g dash, that will be equal to g minus g dash will be equal to r omega square. So g minus g dash equal to r omega square, and therefore it will be equal to 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 into 2 into 3.14 divided by 24 into 60 into 60. After solving this r omega square, its value comes out to be 0.03386 meter per second square. 0.03386 meter per second square. So from this relation, it is clear that at the equator there will be reduction in the value of acceleration due to gravity by this factor. So 0.03385, and therefore now let us consider the second case. In the second case, we will consider the poles. So at the poles, we know that theta is equal to 90 degree, that is latitude is 90 degree, and therefore cos theta, that is cos 90, will be equal to 0. And therefore g dash, that is acceleration due to gravity at the poles, will be equal to g minus r omega square cos square theta, r omega square cos square theta, which will be equal to g minus 0, that is equal to g. That means at the poles there will be no reduction in the value of acceleration due to gravity, because g dash is equal to g, and therefore at that point we will get g minus g dash equal to 0, and therefore we can say that the value of acceleration due to gravity at the poles is greater as compared with the value of acceleration due to gravity at the equator, because at the equator the value of g is reduced by the factor 0.03386 meter per second square, and at the poles it remains constant as g, and therefore at the equator the value of acceleration due to gravity will be less as compared with the acceleration due to gravity at the poles. And similarly, now as this is the effect of altitude, therefore we can now say that the effect of the shape of the earth, so due to the shape of the earth also there will be change in acceleration due to gravity. So we consider the earth to be a sphere. Generally we consider the earth to be a sphere, but it is actually not the sphere, but it is ellipsoid, that is elliptical in shape. Actual shape of the earth is elliptical, which is bulged at the equator and flattened at the poles. So if you consider the shape of the earth, and then we can say that at the poles it will be flattened, it will be slightly flat at the poles, and it will be bulged at the equator. And therefore this situation or this shape of the earth will be responsible for the change in values of acceleration due to gravity, and therefore the equatorial radius of the earth will be greater than the polar radius. So as earth is flattened at these poles, therefore this radius will be less as compared with the equatorial radius, and therefore due to the change in this radius, the acceleration due to gravity will be different along the equator and along the poles. The acceleration due to gravity on the equator will be given as the acceleration due to gravity on the equator, that is GE, equal to 9.7804 meter per second square, 9.7804 meter per second square, and at the poles that Gp will be given as Gp equal to 9.8322 meter per second square. So Gp is equal to 9.8322 meter per second square. So we can say that here Gp is greater than Ge. That is, acceleration due to gravity at the poles is greater than at the equator, because at the poles the radius is less as compared with the equator. So this will represent here the variation in the acceleration due to gravity due to the shape. Now the weight of any object is the force with which the earth attracts that object. The weight of any object is the force with which the earth attracts that object, and hence weight of the object is W is equal to mg. Weight of any object is given as W is equal to mg. As the value of g changes, as the value of acceleration due to gravity changes with altitude, depth and latitude, the weight at different positions will be different for any given object. So we know that acceleration due to gravity changes with altitude, depth as well as latitude, and therefore weight of the object will be also different at these different positions. And now let us see one more term, that is what is actually gravitational potential and potential energy. Gravitational potential and potential energy. What is that gravitational potential and potential energy? So gravitational potential is defined as the work done per unit mass needed to move a body or any mass to that place from a fixed reference place. From a fixed reference place. Gravitational potential is defined as the work done per unit mass. It is the work done per unit mass which is required to move a body or any mass to that place from a fixed reference place. So it is simply nothing but work done per unit mass on any body, and therefore we know that every system in the universe always tries to remain in its state of minimum potential energy. That is, every system in the universe always tries to minimize its potential energy. So every body remains in its state of minimum potential energy. Now the work done against the conservative forces, in achieving a certain position or configuration of a given system is called as the potential energy. So the potential energy will be defined as the work done against the conservative forces in achieving a certain position or configuration of a given system is called as the potential energy. Configuration means it is nothing but the arrangement of the particles or distribution of the particles. And therefore we can say that work done against the conservative force acting on any object is equal to increase in the potential energy of the system. The work done against the conservative force acting on any object will be equal to increase in the potential energy of that system, and therefore we can write this work done dW will be equal to F into dx, force into displacement, that will be the work done. As an example, of this gravitational potential energy, we will consider an example of a spring. If you consider any metallic spring in its initial state, that is without stretching or compressing, let us consider a spring in its initial state, it will possess minimum potential energy. So when that spring is not compressed or stretched at that time, in its initial state, it will be possessing minimum potential energy. Now when it is stretched or compressed, the work is done against the conservative force. The work will be done against conservative force, that is the elastic restoring force inside that spring. This will be acting as the conservative force. So against that conservative force, that is against elastic restoring force, that spring will be stretched or compressed at that time, work will be done. And therefore due to this work, the relative distances between the particles of the spring changes. The relative distances between the particles of the spring will change, and hence its potential energy increases. Its potential energy will increase. Thus, the spring finally regains its original configuration, that is original stage of minimum potential energy on removal of the applied force. That means in this case, when that spring is not stretched or compressed, it will be having its minimum potential energy. Now if it is stretched or compressed at that time, against the internal restoring forces, that is elastic restoring forces, we are stretching it or compressing it, and therefore the work will be done on the particles. Therefore the configuration of the particles will change, and hence there will be increase in the potential energy of that spring when it is stretched or compressed. But as soon as the applied force is removed, again that spring comes to its original stage, that is of the minimum potential energy. So this will be regarding the gravitational potential and potential energy.